so I figured we would get started early this morning. If you have a yoga mat, grab one, find a space where you can fit it. If you don't, that's fine. You can always use a hardwood floor, you can use a carpet. Your hands might slip a little bit, but that's okay. You're still doing yoga. I have a blanket with me today, my fashionable teddy bear blanket, just as a way to prop myself up when I'm sitting. So we're going to start in a seated meditation. This whole flow should take anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes. So just come to a seat that's comfortable. You can bring that blanket behind you and sit on it. Now you can just cross the legs, kind of go crisscross applesauce style. This is also called Sukhasana. Or if you have some sort of comfortable, easy way to splay the legs out a little bit wider, I just like taking one foot in front of the other. And then finding a comfortable seat, you can take the hands to the knees or the thighs. And then close the eyes. Palms down or palms up, whatever feels most resonant with you this morning or whenever you're practicing. I'm going to take my palms down. And so we'll just start with a couple of breaths here. There's no real work to do. We're not trying to breathe in a certain way. Just allow yourself to feel comfortable in the seat, to sink down into the blanket or whatever it is you're sitting on. And as we spend a couple of moments here, just notice your own breath. So without trying to make the breath anything that it's not, without trying to force it, make it longer, make it deeper, anything like that, just listen to the sound of your breath. Follow the breath with your mind. Just notice how the breath feels today and how it settles into the body. You might notice how with each inhale you feel a little bit lighter, a little more spacious in the chest, maybe even some lightness and a lift in the shoulders. And then on the exhale, maybe you find some softness in the body, some relaxing down in the belly and the chest and the shoulders. Feeling grounded in the hips, heavy in the legs. And so we're just starting our practice from a place of feeling really grounded, really centered and present. Instead of just jumping into our practice, getting rooted in the moment first. And then if you have an intention that you'd like to set, so an intention can be anything, it can be something tangible like a muscle that's feeling really tight that you'd like to loosen up. And it can be something intangible like quiet time, peace of mind. Bring that intention, your focus, your reason for showing up today on your mat to the forefront of your mind, and then take the palms together. Press the base of the thumbs into the breastbone and sit a little bit taller. Then relax the elbows and drop the shoulders. We'll honor the intention and open with a nice intentional breath. So with a deep inhale, fill the belly and the lungs. And then open the mouth, sigh the breath out. Letting that intention settle to the back of your mind as you do so, and then release any hold in the breath. Release the hands down to the knees of the thighs and blink the eyes open. And we'll start with a couple of seated stretches. So take the hands overhead and then interlace the fingers and point the palms up towards the ceiling. So reaching the heels of the hands or the wrists up towards the ceiling. Take an inhale. And on your exhale, allow yourself to start to side bend off to your right. keeping grounded through your left hip, reaching that left arm up towards the ceiling. And softening a little bit further into this side bend on your exhale. One more breath. Stay with the exhale. And then your inhale, come all the way up to center, and then just switch the interlace. So it's going to feel a little bit more awkward. You'll just flip the fingers the opposite way. More awkward or unfamiliar. Flip the palms up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Lengthen the spine. On your exhale, side bend to your left. Staying grounded in this right hip. Pressing that hip into the ground, but reaching out through the right arm. Always thinking about lengthening on your inhale and finding some softness in your exhale. One more breath in. One more breath out. And then your inhale, come back to center. On your exhale, right hand comes to the floor, left arm reaches up and out towards your right, finding a deeper side bend here, grounding down to that left hip, reaching the left fingers out. Take an inhale. Stay for your exhale. One more breath in. One more breath out. Inhale all the way up to center, and we'll switch sides. Left hand comes to the floor, right arm reaches up and over, grounding down to the right hip. Take an inhale, lengthen the right side, the spine, the torso, and soften on your exhale. Another breath. Stay with the exhale. And then inhale, come back up to center. This time on your exhale, your right hand comes behind you. Fingertips come to the floor behind the low back, and I'll just turn so you can see what that looks like. So right hand comes behind you. Tented fingers is usually best for you. You can also press the palm down. On your inhale, you'll reach that left arm up, and on your exhale, your left hand comes to your right knee. So you're twisting the chest and the belly towards your right. As you inhale in the twist, imagine that you could lengthen the spine up towards the ceiling. And on your exhale, maybe you soften a little bit on the right side. Maybe that right shoulder starts to work its way back a little bit further. One more inhale here. One more exhale. And then gently release the twist. Inhale the arms up overhead, and we'll switch sides. Left hand comes behind you, right hand comes to your left knee. Same thing, tented fingers in your left hand or a flat palm. Inhale to lengthen the spine. And exhale to soften into the twist. And keep in mind here, if you feel like you're pulling yourself into the twist, ease off of that effort a little bit. So allow this to be an easeful, gentle twist. We're just warming up the tissues of the torso. We're not trying to get into our deepest, most intense twist. Take one more inhale. One more exhale. And then release the twist. Last time, inhaling the arms up. Stretch it out, almost like you're waking up in the morning, and then in the exhale, release the hands down. You can take the hands to the knees or the thighs and maybe just roll the shoulders a couple times, maybe a couple times back, a couple times forward. And then you can take whatever you're sitting on out of the way, and we'll come to our tabletop pose, which means that our knees are under our hips and our wrists are under the shoulders. So keep in mind, if you're on a carpet, this will probably feel really nice, but if you're on a hardwood floor, this might be a lot for the knees. So if you have that blanket or something to support the knees, just give yourself a little extra cushion so that you're not kind of resting on the kneecap. Okay, so with the wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips, this is called tabletop or flat back. We'll take an inhale to arch the spine, so the belly drops down, the hips tilt back, and the chest comes forward. And on the exhale, you'll pull the belly into the spine, scoop the tailbone under, and tuck the chin into the chest. And then inhale to arch. Exhale to round. And we'll just move between those two shapes with each breath. So always inhaling for the arch, This is called cow pose. And exhaling for the round, this is cat pose. So go ahead and move with your own breath a couple of times. Nothing fancy here. Just getting a feel for your joints this morning, your spine, and getting a little bit of movement. If you decide that you want to kind of shift from side to side, maybe you roll the neck as you do these movements, that's fine. So just go ahead and breathe and use your own breath as your cadence to follow. We'll take a couple more rounds. And then at the base of an exhale, so the very end of one of those rounding sequences, come to your flat back. And then you're going to take your left hand to the center of the mat and forward. On your inhale, the right arm will come up and out, so you'll twist towards the right. On the exhale, that right arm comes underneath the left. You'll come to a rest on your right shoulder and the right side of the face, and you'll send this right hand out wide to your left. Your left hand comes a little bit more to the left so that you have some stability here, and you can keep the chest open. This is called thread the needle pose. Just breathing into this. See if you can still feel the length in the spine and the torso. One more breath in. One more breath out. Left hand walks towards the center of the mat, press into this palm. Inhale your right arm up and out, twist open. And exhale, release that right hand down underneath the right shoulder, finding that tabletop shape, and just take a round or two of cat-cow, just to recalibrate the spine and come back to center. Again, inhaling for that arch, and exhaling to the round. And then to switch sides, your right hand comes forward to the center of your mat. Inhale your left arm up and out, twist open. Exhale, your left hand's going to come down underneath your right. You'll rest on this left shoulder and the left side of the face. And then you'll move this right hand off to the right a little bit. So this is what it looks like from the front if you're curious. This right hand scooches over so the shoulders stay broad, the chest stays open. And then just breathe into your spine, into your belly and your chest here. One more breath in. One more breath out. Walk this right hand back to the center of the mat, press into the palm, and inhale your left arm up and out. Twist open. Exhale, tabletop pose. Hands are underneath the shoulders. Couple rounds of cat-cow again, just to recalibrate the spine. And then keep the knees and the hips where they are. You're going to walk the hands forward. The forehead will come to the floor, but the hips stay lifted. This is called puppy pose. It's a modified version of child's pose. Forehead rests. And while you're here, just imagine that you could reach the hips up and back higher, almost like you're trying to extend out through the hips. And then at the base of an exhale, slowly walk the hands under the shoulders, finding that tabletop shape. And this time, your big toes will come together, and you'll walk the knees wide. Sink the hips down and back. Reach the hands forward. This is child's pose. Forehead comes to the floor. I find that a wider stance in the knees is helpful here, so taking those knees super wide can help you to bring the chest and the belly down. Take an inhale in your child's pose. On your exhale, walk the hands, watch out if you have any drinks nearby, off to your left. But keep the hips where they are. So both hands come to your left, the forehead stays down, and on your inhale, imagine that you could breathe into the ribs on the right side of the body. So just expanding the torso. And then soften into that space on your exhale. Last breath in here. On your exhale, come back to center. Take an inhale in child's pose, and then on your exhale, hands walk off to your right. So same thing on the opposite side. Reach those right hands off to the right. Ground down through this left hip. On your inhale, lengthen that whole left side, almost like you're a balloon that you could fill with air on your inhale. And then soften on your exhale. Last breath in. Last breath out. Walk the hands back to center. And this time you'll walk the hands over the shoulders for tabletop pose. Take this blanket out of the way. From your tabletop, walk the hands a couple inches forward, just a little bit. Tuck the toes. Hips move up and back for downward facing dog. And keep in mind that for downward dog, you can always choose to lighten the feet a little bit and take a bend in the knees. If you know you have tight hamstrings, if you're newer to yoga, if you're just a little stiff, it helps to have a wider stance here and a bend in the knees. And then you can also pedal the feet, so just lifting one heel than the other. You can even bend into the knees a little bit more just to get a feel for the joints here. You might choose to nod the head like you're saying yes, shake the head like you're saying no. And over time, what we'll work towards is reaching the hips farther up and back, but then dropping the heels down. They probably won't come to the floor for most of us, but we're working to lengthen those hamstrings. Take another breath here. Stay for the exhale. And then tap the knees down to the floor. Come to a kneeling position. Maybe you sit back on the glutes or on the butt. And that's it for now. So next time we'll go through the next part of that sequence, which would be a sun salutation. It's really common in a lot of vinyasa yoga classes. It's a great way to warm up the body and move with the breath. Thanks for coming. If you have things that you want to learn or practice, feel free to send me a message. And I'll see you soon.